I'm so grateful to be here and to have been invited. And I just want to talk to you about my journey to wholeness. There we go. So my background is that I came from a very abusive and domestic challenging environment. There was a lot of violence, emotional, physical. And so I grew up a chameleon just to survive, becoming whoever I needed to be to get through the day. And as a child, I did that my whole life. And I was an angry young adult, and I did do talk therapy in my 20s, and it did help me a little bit. But where the transformation really took place was in my 30s. After my son was born, something awoke in me because it brought back memories of when I was a child that I had blocked out. Because your mind forgets a lot of things, but your body holds on to everything. So I had a lot of health issues and when my son was born, memories came up, these memories of things that I actually had blocked out because they were so painful. And the way spirit intervened was I had been going to a massage therapist for my neck because I had been in a car accident in March of 1980, and she had to get her hips replaced. So she sent me to another massage therapist who actually was a shamanic healer. And when she's actually in the Reading area, Pathways to Healing up in Reading, Pennsylvania. Her name's Ann Bacone. And I'm going to get emotional. I can feel it. She touched my heart chakra. And the pain literally shot through my back and down to my tailbone. And I knew then that I was in the right place to heal. That I was able to really touch something inside of me that I hadn't touched before. And so I worked with her, and it was my first experience of working with my inner child. And we had a session, which was really powerful, in that it brought up this memory, and I started talking baby talk. So I was about 18 months old, and my body, I had this pain all over my body, and then my head hurt, and then I couldn't breathe. And when I came out of that session, this water poured out of my lungs. I filled 2 or 3 paper towels just filling this water because my body had held on to that trauma. And here, the memory of what that incident was my mother was giving me a bath and the water was too hot, and that's what made me cry. And she didn't want to make my father aware because she knew that that would cause friction. And so she had fear as well. And so she pushed me under the water and I hit my head, and then I couldn't breathe. And that was my first time that I left my body. And it was also when a walk-in came in and kept me safe, so to speak. My physical body, when I would leave, it would keep my physical body safe because they wanted me here. And I chose, because that was still a scary thing. It's like I chose to work with my inner child and work with energy healing with Ann at that time, even though it was like I had fear that was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Because that was so traumatic to have all that released from my body. But I started to really get a better understanding of who I was working with my inner child. And there are different ways to work with your inner child. You can do the regression back to an inner child, or you can go visit an inner child just through intention and communication. Like if your inner child brings you flowers and you're playing in the meadow, you can go and hang out in the meadow and pick flowers with that inner child. You can also bring your inner child into the now. Let's say you like to ride horses. And I actually have someone that is doing this now that's really amazing. So she's invited her inner child to help her feed the horses and ride the horses with her. And she feels so different. And it's like, but I've done this as well. I've gone and gardened with my inner child. But there's things you can do with your inner child that maybe you haven't thought of. But anyway, I continued with the healing, and I ended up taking a Reiki, and then that gave me another way to really facilitate and work on healing myself. It also gave me the tools to be able to learn how to clear my fields and really take care of myself, because I was a high level empath and intuitive growing up. And I didn't have any knowledge of how to really do self-hygiene and spiritual hygiene. My throat, I'm a little emotional, sorry. So anyway, back to my journey of wholeness. So I took Reiki and worked on myself, and I started making these products, salt scrubs and such. And then I was guided to go to the Omega Institute up in New York. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to take? I asked Source to show me. So I went through the catalog, and angels. It's like I always had a connection with angels. And this was IET, integrated energy therapy. And Stephen Thayer was up there, and it was a long thing, and it was teaching integrated energy therapy, your basic, intermediate, and advanced. And a lot happened to me. I evolved. A lot of healing happened during that week. And I knew then that this was something that I wanted to share with others, because I worked with that, healing myself, with working with animals. It was like what I called my modality of structure. And it really worked really well with the Reiki that I had learned. So I began to also work with others, facilitating. But what I learned about myself is like I would have these triggers that would come up, triggers of my background with my mother. And I also knew that I had to forgive my mother, and she was still alive. She had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and she didn't have long. I went and saw her in Johns Hopkins, and I gave her 2 weeks to live. And she lasted 2 years because she needed the forgiveness process just as much as I did. And I got to forgive her, to really forgive her, which that really helped to heal my inner child as well, because I wasn't as angry. I wasn't holding all that energy in me, because when you hold anger and you don't let that forgiveness go, really give forgiveness, it just eats you. It's a gift to yourself when you can forgive others. It really is. So I just wanted to share that with you as far as that goes. But I still, when something shows up and triggers me a little bit, I don't get them often, but they do show up. It's like I go back to whatever that age was, wherever I'm guided, whether it's 15 or 17 or even a young adult. And I talk to my inner child and I say, what can we do here to let this go? What do you need from me to be able to heal this piece of you? And we have that conversation and we move forward. And that has really been allowing me to keep my channel really clear between my heart and source, because I don't have that baggage or that heaviness anymore. My body is healthier. I'm happier. I'm emotionally happier. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not full of that energy anymore. So I recommend that if you haven't had a chance to start working with your inner child, to really take the opportunity to do so. So one of the things that I've been guided to do, that they said, is to take you on a guided meditation, a guided journey to really connect with the heart of Mother Earth and connect with Source. And it's called what I call the Apple Flow energy. And then I work with a team. My 85 is a galactic team of higher benevolent beings. They want to channel through me to be able to bring you keys and codes in light language, to be able to really allow you to connect and heal your inner child. That's what the intention is. So we'll see how that shows up. I'm just going to release and surrender to Source to see what comes through me. And I'm really, really grateful to be able to have that opportunity to share with you. And if you have any questions afterwards about an inner child healing journey, or me personally, please feel free to ask at that time. So I'd like everybody to close your eyes and bring your attention to your heart space and take a couple nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle. Breathing in joy through the nose and out through the mouth, releasing all the stress of the day. Let's bring your attention to your heart space. Allow your heart to fill with love, gratitude, and compassion for self and others. See, know, or feel your heart expanding with these energies. And let's allow and send this energy down through all your chakras, out your root, down, down, down to the crystalline core of the planet, connecting with the heart of Mother Earth. And when you're ready, let's receive those energies, that love, gratitude, compassion, 1,000-fold returning to us. See, know, or feel it coming up through your root, through all your chakras, at your crown. A small percentage going to the galactic core, the other 95% wrapping down and around, back through your root, circulating through and around you, creating that perfect toroidal field, beautiful shape of an apple. The energies are running through and around you. Bringing your attention back to your heart. This time we're going to send that love, gratitude, and compassion up through the crown to suns beyond the suns, the galactic core, connecting with Source. And when you're ready, let's receive that energy back, 1,000-fold, coming down through your crown, through all your chakras, out your root, a small percentage going into the earth, the other 95% this time wrapping up and around and back down through your chakras, circulating through and around you, again, creating that perfect toroidal field, beautiful shape of an apple. These energies are running through and around you. You're fully anchored into the heart of Mother Earth, connected to Source. And see, know, or feel this beautiful toroidal field expanding out 25 feet in all directions, 25 feet above, 25 feet below, 25 feet all around. And I just want you to pick an age, any age that comes to you. Trust Source to give you the perfect number between when you were born and when you hit 18. Let's just pick a number, an age between when you were born and 18, and just focus on that. Whatever that number is, whatever that age is. And then set the intention you're going to connect with your inner child at that age. And I just want you to see, know, or feel, or get a sense, or use your imagination of what was going on in your life at that time, at that age. And I want you to go sit next to your inner child at that age. And you may want to wrap your arms around and hug him or her. And now we're going to call in these beautiful benevolent beings to channel this light language coding. And I want you to just feel the coding coming through for these keys and codes of healing and awareness. Awareness is also what they want to bring you, but we're asking for gentleness with this awareness. Yes, no, take no, 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 today, yo, todo, ye, kakapapapsi, yo, pololekeo, Eshumaka, no, katapati, yo, kolokidekitea. No, so, no, yo, 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 ya, 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 kole. Lula senana, Usenu kule yu akala. Oh ya 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 luleu ayakona. Sila kule kula. Reshana nana kashana oseko eteke. Osenule usekua usapara tia kole kona taya pa. Framasika lolo to te to te to yo yo yoko papa yeko ma. Mila kala nana seko yata ta 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 to le kusana ta 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 yokoko koleko yasiha. And as you sit there with your inner child, allow these codes, these keys and codes that have now awoken and been imprisoned within your DNA, to begin the healing process of whatever was going on at that time. And through quantum physics, it's like a domino effect. Whatever's healing the inner child is moving forward into the future and healing you in the now. And allow your body to let go of anything that it no longer serves you with this healing. And it is with gratitude. So let's hug your inner child. And if you want to, you can choose to visit your inner child again, or take your inner child and bring your inner child into the now and have an adventure with him or her. Take them fishing, take them for a walk in the woods. Build that relationship with your inner child so your inner child can begin to heal more. And in turn, you're going to be healing as well. So it's like, I want you to come back into this moment of now, back into your body. Stretch, wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to this moment of now. And I'd be interested in hearing what anybody's experienced, or if they have any questions. I'm ready to receive those questions now if you're ready to ask. Thank you.